Residents in Florida are picking up the pieces in the wake of Hurricane Milton. It made landfall as a Category 3 storm and blasted through the U.S. state on Wednesday night local time. At least 16 people have died after Milton brought storm surges to parts of Florida's western shore and deadly tornadoes to its east. The downpour in some parts of the state reached levels typically seen once in 1,000 years. Almost 2.5 million people across the state are still without power. Although Florida avoided the catastrophic devastation that had earlier been predicted, authorities estimate cleanup operations could take weeks or months. The White House has pledged support as damage assessments continue. Milton came just 2 weeks after Hurricane Helene devastated Florida and other parts of the United States as well. The back-to-back storms have become election fodder, with Republican presidential nominee Donald Trump alleging the Biden administration is neglecting victims, prompting a strong response from the president.
And received death penalties. Some received death penalties yesterday as a result of reckless, irresponsible, relentless disinformation and outright lies that continue to flow. Those who engage in such lies are undermining confidence in the rescue and recovery work that's opening and ongoing. As I speak, they're continuing. These lies are also harmful to those who most need help. Lives are on the line. People are in desperate situations. Have the decency to tell them the truth.
And more, we're joined by Mitch McCann, reporting live from Jacksonville, Florida. Mitch, we just heard the authorities say relief recovery will take weeks, possibly months. So where are we now, just days, a day after, in fact, after Milton hit?
Yeah, well, good morning from Florida. We're a day after Milton hit, as you say. It's been reported this morning that there have been 990 people rescued so far after that hurricane made landfall on Wednesday night local time. Now, in addition to that, more than 100 animals have been rescued as well, and there are dramatic stories of people being rescued. I mentioned earlier a situation where more than 400 people had to be rescued from one apartment building in Pinellas County because of flooding in that building. But there's also been a dramatic story of a rescue off the Gulf of Mexico in recent days. It's been reported that a man was found up to 48 kilometres off the coastline clinging onto a cooler after he was fishing on Wednesday night and then got swept out into the water when the hurricane came in and managed to survive by clinging onto that cooler, and he was rescued by the Coast Guard, which is a really lucky situation. But of course, many people here haven't been lucky at all when it comes to their personal effects, belongings and their homes after this hurricane caused plenty of destruction to people in places like St. Petersburg and Tampa. We've seen people's homes that have been partially destroyed. We've seen a situation that's been widely reported where a roof was partially blown off a baseball stadium and a crane fell into another building. So while we say it wasn't as destructive as perhaps it was forecast to be, it has caused a lot of pain for people here, and it's going to take a long time to clean up.
It's also going to be taking more money. Now, the funding, any additional funding for cleanup and restoration will require the Congress to pass this money. With a split Congress, is there any possibility of the two houses uniting for what is surely a national need?
Well, it seems unlikely at this stage. We just heard from the president earlier on in this piece. Joe Biden said yesterday that the government will be helping people where they need it, and it's going to take several billions of dollars and a lot of money to clean up. But there is one big problem here. That is FEMA, the Federal Emergency Management Agency that deals with disasters here in the US, has spent almost half of its budget for the next 12 months, 8 days into the fiscal year. So it needs money and it needs it fast. So the president is asking Congress to reconvene to approve more money for FEMA. That is the acronym for that agency. But it seems the Republicans are not willing to do that at this stage. And the risk is, if they don't approve more money, some of the rebuild that FEMA would usually deal with may have to slow down or stop if they exceed their budget. So the need for more money really is pressing here in the United States because it is storm season and it is possible there are going to be more hurricanes in the coming weeks and months.
Thanks to Mitch McCann reporting live from Jacksonville, Florida.